All right, everybody, welcome to Another Bourbon Show. We are excited to have a special guest with us tonight. Tonight we have joining us Randy Shanks. So Randy, big applause to you for joining us. Oh. And for the listeners out there, I want you all to know that Randy, if you've watched any of our episodes before, you've heard some of Randy's work because he's the gentleman who wrote and recorded our theme song and our outro song. And I could not be more pleased with the work you did on that, Randy. So I want to thank you deeply for the work you did on that. That was phenomenal, especially with the turnaround time. Very quick. It was awesome. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, well, thank you for asking me. That was a cool one. I mean, I've had some, in 20 years of doing it, it's been some neat requests. So thank you for asking, and then having another opportunity to do something different.
Yeah.
Just making, music, normal music, whatever you want to call it, music.
No, I just think it was really cool. I thought you did some really great work on that. So, and we're gonna listen to it in a little bit later. I'll probably play it on my show, or excuse me, on my phone, because I've actually played it quite a few times just to listen to it. I enjoy listening to it. But Randy,
I'll just add the file in for you guys. That way you're not listening to it through Dan's phone, because that'd be horrible.
Does he got one of them old razors?
Yeah. No, I've got a good phone, but I like for them to hear it, I would have to do like this, I think.
Oh,
I'll play
yeah.
it. I'll play it.
Doing the Dan thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Randy's joining us tonight while we are going to be drinking this one right here. Wild Turkey 101. Now, Wild Turkey is probably top 5 of bourbon drinkers pick as like daily bourbon, right? Like something that you're comfortable mixing, you're comfortable drinking it neat, drinking it with some ice, drinking it with a little bit of water. This is a very, very highly loved bottle of bourbon. Jimmy Russell has been their master distiller for 50 plus years. He was supposed to retire like 15 years ago, and he's still just like, fuck it, I don't want to stop. So he just keeps driving for it. So yeah, Wild Turkey 101. And I got to know, Steven, what do you think of this one?
This label is one of those that I actually love. I feel like I have not got to do this much recently, and I'm very curious to hear you guys' thoughts as well. But to me, this is one of like my favorite labels out of like all this, I guess like staple whiskeys, that you just see all the time. I think it looks great. I love the font for Wild Turkey. I love the font that they went with. I love how 101 is big and bold. I love how they have the turkey on the side, how this is all spaced. And then typically what I don't like is like whenever they try to put too many like the numbers and like the facts on the very front. Yeah. But I love how they kind of put it down here with a separate color background, kind of separating it from the rest of the label. And then they sectioned it all off as well. This to me is just one of the, like I said, the great labels of sort of the staple whiskeys. And I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Wow. I think that's your highest rating yet, isn't it?
Probably it's up there. Again, I would actually go back if I could, and I would give Smoke Wagon higher.
What would you?
But yes.
Hold on. Let me grab one.
All right.
We got a redo here. So here is the Smoke Wagon small batch.
And I'm not going to make a habit out of doing this. It's just I don't think I saw it very well at the time. And now I've seen it a lot since. And I think that's a great like belt buckle looking label that fits in with the rest of the bottle. I like its placement and everything. Of course, the rest of the bottle is gorgeous, but just I have to judge based on label alone. And I give that guy an 8 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
So now, that's my highest so far.
Someone woke up on the right side of the pillow today, huh?
Seriously.
Usually you hate everything.
No, actually, my seasonal depression's in full fucking swing today. But I just like the labels today.
So I picked up my bottle of Wild Turkey 101 from the Phillips 66 here in Maryville. Cost me $23 plus tax. I actually had a really hard time. I could not find the small 50 milliliter bottles that that Ryan has, and I think Randy's got that as well. I went to.
Oh, Randy's well equipped.
Jesus.
I didn't know how far the conversation was gonna go.
We don't
No,
either.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt that far. It's Monday, and I gotta get up at 6 in the morning. So
But you never know.
you never know.
You never know.
It's funny rolling back into my work with 4 little bottles of these things, and my boss is like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm on a whiskey show thing tonight." And he's like, "A whiskey show thing?" And I was like, "COVID shit."
So, Steven, where'd you pick yours up, man?
Like usual, I got it from Royals in St. Charles, and I paid 21 plus tax for it.
Ooh, got the steal.
Yeah.
Steal of the day. What about you, Randy? Where'd you get your little guys?
There is a little liquor store down here called Save On Liquor.
Oh,
Save On. Yeah.
I know Save On well. A couple episodes ago, I told them they could eat my whole ass.
Well, I went one place, like a Circle K or something, and they didn't have it, and I stopped.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to just stop at one of them, because I didn't want to have a whole fifth. I'm pretty picky about when I do drink, and I also didn't want to spend like $20-something on something that's just going to sit there and tempt me.
Yep. No, I get it. Now, my thing with Save On goes way back, and it's pretty deep. But if I'm being completely honest here, I mean, first of all, fuck them. But if I'm being completely honest, yes, fuck them. But also, they do have some good prices on some good stuff. It's just that they do take advantage of people who, in my opinion, I feel that they take advantage of people new to bourbon. Especially when things first come out. Like they've got some bottles right now that they're selling for $100 that you can drive 2 minutes away and get it for $50.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and it's not even hard to come by. It's not allocated. You can find it all over the place anytime you want. But because it's new and people don't know better, they're like, well, we can make an extra $50 profit on a bottle of liquor, and that's the reason they can eat my full ass. Ryan, what about you?
That is Dan's opinion. I've never been to the place, and I work for a distributor, Randy. So in a certain state, not sure which one, but I do not
Eagle Distributing. Okay.
So 50 mLs in the city of Chicago aren't allowed to be sold standalone like this. You need to pack them either 4 or more, because I don't think they want homeless people buying like dollar bottles of whiskey and getting hammered in the city. That's probably what it is. So I had my brother pick this. Yeah, I had my brother pick this up somewhere in the far west suburbs. He didn't tell me the store. He just called me. He's like, "I found you your airplane shots." Like, what store? He's like, "I'll text it to you." He never texted it to me. So thanks, Matt. But
Matt's kind of a dick.
$2.50 each one. He said he spent $5.
Okay.
So I'll get the store next week. I'll shout him out.
I mean,
Well, I mean, I don't know. It was I got 4 of these little bottles, and it was $5, $5.15. You know, something like that.
Yeah.
No, do tell us next week, Ryan. Everybody's going to be on bated breath where you found Wild Turkey 101.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And and again, I just have to reiterate that my issue with Save On is specifically about that aspect. If you're stopping by for Wild Turkey 101, they're going to have a good price on that. If you're stopping by for Fireball, they're going to have a good price on that. If you're stopping by for Smoke Wagon Small Batch, you're going to get fucked. If you're looking for Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond, you're going to get fucked. So let's talk Wild Turkey 101. It's we've actually had a very close comparison to Wild Turkey 101 as our what did I do? What's wrong, Steven?
I'm sorry. I just couldn't stop myself from laughing just thinking about you. Just like, it's just so funny to me. Like, every other thing besides wild. Like if you're stopping to get wild turkey, that's fine. But then you list it. Like I feel like we could have done 40 minutes. You'd be like, if you're going in for curly and chili, you're
could.
fucked.
I could.
If you're looking for those cracklins that are the hot ones, they're right up front. You know what I mean?
But
Hey,
they got
so
red
what
hot
point-
riblets.
Yeah. Or
Red hot
the wrap snacks. What is it? Wrap snacks. Just for the etiquette of this, am I supposed to pour and prepare, or is there?
Oh yeah. Pour and prepare. Get yourself. I mean, unless you're just gonna twist the top and down it.
No, I brought my little R little glass here that I drink out of
Very
occasionally. Yeah.
Very, very classy, Randy.
Yeah,
Well
well, it's
done.
a plastic, but I'm going from plastic to glass. That's kind of butthole-ish, but oh well.
So I think our very first episode was Fighting Cock. And Fighting Cock was created specifically to, challenge Wild Turkey 101. So the mash bill on Wild Turkey 101 is 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% barley. They say, like, this doesn't have an age statement on it, but supposedly it's a blend of 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and 8-year-old bourbon. It's really good stuff. It's hard to beat for the price point, and of course, it is 101 proof. So what do you say? We want to start drinking?
Do it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Dios salud. Did they really have to pick Matthew McConaughey though to be on their website? Of all the people in the world, you know what I mean? Surprised he has his shirt on.
So yeah, they started what's it called, Ryan? Long Branch?
Yep.
Yeah, they started Long Branch with him. They partnered together, and I've never had Long Branch. Have you guys ever had it?
No, but
I've
I've never had
intend to.
I've never had wild turkey before.
Are you serious?
I swear, it's the first time I've ever had it.
Yeah,
Wow.
You know what? I'll be. It's so odd because there's as soon as it hit the palate, I haven't had anything else to drink other than I had coffee at like 4 o'clock. Other than that, it was like a glass of water. So this is all I've had. But it immediately reminded me of like stealing a bottle of J&B from my buddy's parents' locker. Like it still had that, like sneaking off into the basement. Whew, I like it. Reminds you of better time. That's gonna put me back in that's gonna put me in like 92, something like that. I'm gonna put this in the category of a 1992 kind of feel right off the
A lot of nostalgia coming through on this one, right?
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Ryan, I'm shocked you've never had any wild turkey.
Seriously?
Yeah, unless it was like a night that was fuzzy, but I would have remembered having it. So I've never had it. I mean, I see it all the time, obviously, but
So it used to be
A
my
fuzzy
thing.
evening.
When it used to be my thing, like, so everybody knows that like the night before Thanksgiving is normally a huge bar night. I'd get stupid drunk on Wednesday, and then like Thursday morning I needed more. So like I would have like a solid glass because you got to have your turkey on Thanksgiving, right? Like that was my thing. And it wasn't like a glass like this. It was a like glass, and it was like that much. And yeah, so I like wild turkey a lot. So I want to hear about what you guys think of it. Randy, takes you back to 92, finger banging Susie in the.
Well, I mean, no finger banging. Susie's like a real old name to go back to. So, would have been no Susies of that time. I think I had, I was of the Angie and
Like a
Christina
Vanessa?
and Nicole kind of.
No Vanessas.
I don't remember too many Vanessas. I'm from Belleville though, so I mean, there's all sorts of different names.
All right, so the nostalgia's there, and you like it, Randy?
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it wouldn't be like if I had a bunch of different choices, it wouldn't be in my top, but it's not bad.
Okay, all right. What about you, Steven? How you feeling about it?
Well, I like suggested this one, I think,
You did?
because to me this is one of those that I like even when I wasn't drinking like whiskey like I am now. It was one that I immediately picked up on that I liked because I think one time at a bar, I just had like a bartender make me like whatever. I just said like make your best old fashioned you got or something like that. And the guy was just like he just chose to make, Wild Turkey 101 in it. And and then I ended up asking what the bourbon was later, and then he told me. And then from then on, it's been one that like I've sort of occasionally gotten.
Hmm.
But I really see it as like I think for the price point, for the taste, for the proof that it is, I think all those factors combine to just be like one of those that I'll pretty much always have in my bar, I think.
Hmm.
Um, Now, we'll probably get into it later when we're giving the ratings. Would I rather have this or pay a few dollars less for Fighting Cock? And I'm not sure.
Hmm.
But I really like this a lot. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
are you talking about this as just neat?
Yeah, but one of the things I find value in typically is just being able to have it any way I want. And I think this is one of my favorites to throw in pretty much any cocktail. I think it stands
Okay.
up to most of them anyway.
So, yeah, so I mean, and I'm just going off of my first judgment then, because when it comes down to, like, I'd never had it any other way. Like, I see on their website that they have all these different garnishes that you could do to it. So, I guess if it was to compare, then it would just be my initial taste. But I mean, it's mixed. I've never had it, so I don't know, if there's a way that, it might be better than straight up in somebody else's opinion.
Yeah.
Randy, what's your like when you're at the liquor store and you're grabbing something for yourself? What's something you normally grab?
Mm. Well, I mean, to be honest, most of the time I just order stuff to the house. And it's mostly like cheap beer anymore because I've been watching my diet. Crown Royal sticks around the house
Hmm.
almost all the time. Maker's Mark, Buffalo Trace,
Hmm.
those are really the only ones. But I don't really mess with anything else. I've gotten a few. There was some cheaper ones that I went to Randall's and got that. It was shaped like a giant Stetson container. It was like Woodcrest or I don't remember what
Wood
the hell
hat.
it was, but it looked like a
Wood
giant Zippo. Was it wood hat?
I
So
bet
it looked
wood
like a
hat.
giant Zippo looking thing, and it was like $75, and we were gonna have a party at our house, so I bought it, and it was really good. I wish I could,
Oh,
Like, does
Jesus.
this remind you of it at all?
No, but I like your hat.
Okay. All right.
No, no, it was like picture a Zippo, but like giant, and it was whiskey. And it had like a
Huh.
black lid on it and like a weird gold label. I'd never seen it before, and I was in Randall's, and it was a giant nostalgic type bottle.
Yeah. This is the first time you've had it before, right, Ryan?
Yeah,
What do you think?
first time. It doesn't drink like 101.
No.
Drinks like a 85, 90 proof. It's smooth. I get a lot of ethanol on it, just from
Oh.
that. That's I think I have to have a couple sips because I've only had like 2 or 3. I'm getting that right off the bat, but it's smooth. I mean, when I drink it, there's hardly any bite.
Yeah.
Some that, when you get over 100, you're like, ugh, that's tough. But that's not. I mean, that's an easy drink. I mean, probably good for a cocktail too. Maybe kind of turn out the flavors a little more. I'm not getting a lot right now, but more I drink, I'm sure I'll pick up some other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Wild Turkey 101 an awful lot. Again, I would say that this is for most people their daily drinker. This is normally in their top 5, right? Like I don't know of anybody who dislikes Wild Turkey 101. Like there are people who don't necessarily drink it on a regular basis, but it's because there's something else that they can get in that $20 to $25 range that they like a little bit more. But I don't think I've ever heard somebody just say, nope, I flat don't like Wild Turkey.
And this usually retails in between $18 and $22, probably something like that, or is it a little cheaper?
I would say no. I would actually say 20 to 25.
Okay,
I did see.
I mean,
by the way, I saw it for 18.
Okay.
Locally, so that's not
but
what I
that's
bought it
all.
at. But I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean that's all if they buy big case quantities or
Yeah.
if they're running just to get people in there. But
Right.
I will say compared to the Fighting Cock, because Dan, you said that's what they were being compared, or that's Fighting Cock kind of wanted to go after that wild turkey market, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Based on, I mean, I got a plastic airplane bottle, but compared to the bottle you have to the Fighting Cock, I mean, it seems like a step up, the wild turkey.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely overall a cheaper looking bottle. Not to take away, the whiskey is good, but if I'm at a store and I see a bottle of wild turkey or this, I'm probably grabbing the turkey.
Yeah.
Just based on appearance, like Randy said, looking at like a bottle, how it looks, I mean, I'd probably go for the wild turkey over that.
Yeah.
Currently, you're in both Echo Trace and it's slipping my mind.
Divide the Empire.
Divide the Empire. And here's what's bad about that. Divide the Empire is actually the band of yours that I prefer. Like I like that style a little bit better. But you also are starting to do solo recording, right?
Yeah. Just had more time.
I wonder what could have caused that.
Yeah. It's fun though. I mean, I wanted to take a different approach. So the engineer that's been my engineer at Firebrand forever, his name's Brian, and I was like, hey, I want to come in and do a song, and he's like, all right, like when you're gonna is the kit gonna get set up and everything, referring to drums, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do electronic drums, and he's like, Keith's not involved, like this isn't a band thing, and I was like, no, I have a couple ideas I'm gonna try to do on my own, so I have about 20 something songs that I finished that I just didn't think fit the vibe for either band. So I kept them in the background for a long time. And then with this going on and no gigs, I was like, well, might as well try to go in the studio and produce something completely on my own, it's a lot more, I mean, it's cool, but it's a lot more work than what I thought it was going to be.
Like you write your own lyrics, you write your own music, and then to perform it and produce it too, like that's got to be overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, luckily enough with a band, it's really everybody's part. Echo Trace, I wrote everything as far as the lyrics and the music, but then I let my percussion, I tell those guys just do whatever the hell sounds good with it, and they always come to the table. So I don't ever write anybody else's parts if I invite them. But Divide, it's everybody, it's a democracy. Everybody writes, some people write the music, or I'll write the music, or I always write the lyrics and melodies for that band. So it's cool to do something completely on my own, but at the same time, well, now if it's no good, it's definitely your fault. You can't blame nobody else, You can't be like, well, it's that drummer, or it's that bassist,
And when you're making something like when you made our theme song, for instance, how do you approach a project like that where you have, I imagine the driving force whenever you're writing something that you wrote is like, well, your own thoughts and like things you're going through or something like that. But whenever you have like a customer sort of, where do you start with that? Is it like the music, the lyrics, or?
Well, I mean, truthfully, everything that I've ever done that was ever used, back that up. I've been fortunate in the past like 8 years to have a handful of people who have bought and paid and pay monthly, sometimes or yearly, to use my music for their YouTube channels. So I was already becoming a little bit more aware of that there was another media. When we were playing all these gigs, and I was like, well, what about the internet? There's like people paying attention to us on the internet, and we're not like doing anything. So now, there's some guy in North Carolina that has like a Bigfoot channel that's got a couple 100,000 subscribers, and he uses our music and then works out a yearly deal with us as far as finances go. And it's great. I mean, I would have never thought that, So to answer the question, I never wrote anything that was directly for something else. You know, like it'd be like if whenever he first asked me, I thought, you remember that Georgia Carpet Outlet song? Or just any of those jingles that you hear from like a furniture store or a fast food restaurant, you know. So I immediately think about the product. And I was like, all right, well, you know, so you guys aren't trying to sell whiskey. You're just trying to sell the idea of some dudes talking about whiskey. You know, so when I first started writing lyrics on the first version, I was like, I don't want to lyric it up because that's not so much needed. Mm-hmm. So that opening verse of let's get this bourbon flowing, I thought, well, that's perfect because you know it's an introduction, so you can cut that however you want, and you know I did some. I think I wanted to take more of the approach. The first one was a little bit darker because that's who I am, and this when the suggestion of, you know, could it be a little bit more higher on the scale, I thought, okay, well that immediately makes me think that maybe they're looking for more of a folky Dave Matthews kind of, I don't know, that's what came to mind for me, at least, you know, was a little bit more Black Crowsy or something like that. So I took that approach the second time. You know,
hey, we were talking about Chicago bands. I got Ryan more Randy though. One of my very favorite bands that I always thought should have been far more popular is a Chicago band called Lucky Boys Confusion, and they had like one decent hit.
It's the name.
It's the name.
Yeah, totally. I feel that on some great bands that it's their name.
Yeah.
The name's just a turnoff. It's like what me and the guy said with the bottle. You know, it's just like what they say, and it was like some interview talking about Tide with Bleach is only the most popular soap because it's in an orange box and people are dumb. You know? So I mean, it's not because it smells better. It's just because people are like, ooh, orange.
Yeah.
You know.
Do either of you know of Lucky Boys Confusion though?
No, but I bet they're good.
Yeah, they may have broken up. Yeah, but
one of my favorite bands is called Failure, and most people don't even know who the hell they are except for A Perfect Circle covered one of their songs. It was like Friends with them, and a few of the members are in other bands like Queens of the Stone Age and things like that. So
yeah.
But they're like one of the best bands I've ever heard in my whole life. That and Faith No More, you know, those are my two favorite bands. But yeah, just the name Failure, like even wearing it on a shirt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got a Failure shirt. If nobody else knows who the band is, they're like, "Fuck yeah, you're a failure. Look at you," you know.
I'm gonna have to take note. I'm gonna check them out later. The best concert I've ever been to in my entire life was a Dave Matthews Band concert, though. But here's the thing: this was back in 2002 or 2003, and at that time I lived out in New Jersey. And out in New Jersey, there's this place that some of you might have heard, but it's called the Stone Pony. It is a music icon location. That's where Bon Jovi got discovered. It's where Bruce Springsteen got discovered. Yeah. Bruce Springsteen has an album called Live from Stone Pony. So anyway, I go out and I get stupid drunk while playing softball, and we're playing against the team from the Stone Pony. They invited my whole team to go drink at their bar afterwards. The rest of the guys on my softball team were bitches and they didn't go. I did because I'm like, if they're inviting me, I'm drinking for free. So I go. While I'm there, they end up like giving me a pass to come see Dave Matthews Band at the Stone Pony, which is like 1,000-person venue, on a Thursday night before he headlines Madison Square Garden Friday and Saturday night. And I was just like, I get to see Dave, like 2002, 2003, Dave Matthews Band was huge.
Yeah, and that's before he got chubby, so he'd dance around on stage a whole bunch too.
You guys remember whenever they got caught like dumping their shit and piss onto like people on a boat in Chicago?
Yeah.
If it's in Chicago, then good for them. Fuck Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah.
River smells
Sweet
anyway.
home
It's fine.
Chicago. Yeah.
So, what do you say we drink it with a little bit of water? I wanna try it with some water.
I got some ice water, which look, let me go old school on you too. Look, the Great Gonzo, the Muppet Cup.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, the Great Muppet Caper. I got like the old 80s glass here.
I am not a huge fan of it just with water. I think it's okay, but I think there's a lot of other stuff you can add to it in a cocktail that makes it really great.
Yeah.
But I really like it with some ice.
I would think lemon would be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna have some with ice, but I just dropped my ice, and yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Well, just trust me, Dan. If you probably had it with ice before, though, right?
I have.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
My wife and I were having a funny conversation. You know, we're both not preppers. We're much more like the Bonnie and Clyde. Like when it's finally time to go down, like we'll just go down. You know, we take some assholes with us, but like we're not going to prep for shit. You know, I mean, like to a certain degree, you know. But I said, you know, when everybody was buying all the toilet paper and the paper towels, she's like, "Hey, I'm ordering stuff from the store. What do you want?" I was like, "Get like 4 or 5 huge boxes of the ramen noodles." And she's like, "You don't even eat those things." And I was like, "Yeah, but I put them in a backpack, and all you need's water for a meal." You know, it was a big deal. And sure enough, she didn't like the idea, so she didn't order because she said it was too high in sodium, which it wasn't the point. The point was for the only adding water to it, you know.
Yeah.
At first, when you
so
said that,
so she didn't get them, and then whenever I went to order them, they were like triple the price of what they normally are. You used to be able to get like a ton of them things for 60 cents.
Yeah.
And now it's like $10 for a good amount of them. I don't know, 25 packs or something like that. It's like $8 something. I'm like, what's going on here with the ramen?
You ever fly Spirit Airlines? They have ramen on the flights.
Oh, really?
I love ramen noodles. I'm not even lying. I love ramen noodles.
Yeah, I mean, they're look. If we were going off of things that fill a void, then those ramen noodles are amazing.
Who are you like really super digging right now?
Right now.
Maybe it's a recent discovery. Maybe it's somebody who just put out a new like I'm always big on Sturgill Simpson. I'm not a big country music dude, but like I'm always fascinated. Like anytime Sturgill puts something out, I'm always just like buy, because you never know what's going to come next, and everything he does is great.
There was a band that I bumped into about a month ago, and I want to say it's called All These Witches or All Them Witches. A very, you know, again, kind of heavy. But then there was a bluesy type, sounded like old music, and it was called the Teskey Brothers. I bumped across them on Spotify and really dug it. It was more of a, I don't know, just a bluesy type band. But yeah, I mean, some of my favorite bands have always been like Porcupine Tree and Faith No More. A lot of bands that really didn't get super big, but it was more because they were, they just stayed being them. They didn't give a shit about a big paycheck. So I mean, they still did all right in life, but they were never on top. And that's kind of always where I wanted to be. I wanted to make it just enough that I maybe had like a tour manager, but other than that, I was playing every place that would have me for, you know, some of the bigger acts that I've played with, I've got to ask them, you know, a little bit more personal stuff. And a few of them were making an average of $3,500 to $4,500 a night just singing, you know. So I mean, you know, if that could be the average for, you know, having a few big hits on the radio, then I'm game. And really nobody knowing who I am, awesome. Or more an underground following, I guess is what you'd call it, which is where you have about 250 to 300,000 fans. Any city you go, you can get 200-300 people to come see.
Okay.
It's kind of like the Doug Stanhope mentality, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, you're never trying to grab everybody. I mean, for the people, you know, for the bands out there that are like, we're going to be the next Nirvana or the next, you know, Lady Gaga or whatever, you know, kind of popularity you're reaching for. I mean, good luck. I mean, that's a shooting star right there. So I mean, just go for an audience. Try to grasp a group of people that will follow you, buy your merchandise, tell their friends and family about you.
And going back on what you said earlier, or somebody mentioned how like a lot of movies and whatnot are basically sequels now. Well, the reason for that is because movies have gotten so expensive that a lot of these companies and production groups don't want to take risks. So they want to do something with a built-in audience. So I think to your point, Randy, like maybe, you know, if a lot of the bands you're talking about have maybe smaller followings, and maybe it's just because people are able to take more risks without all the sort of responsibility associated with having a big label behind you or a lot of expectation, you know?
Yeah, I think there is a big shift happening though. There's a lot more. I mean, if COVID did one thing, it leveled the playing field. So I mean, sure, you're not able to go out and street perform or even, you know, whatever. You're not able to really go out and perform properly, at least. Mm-hmm. But it made it to where you can go watch Dave Matthews now live on his website for 4 hours. Yeah. So the competition now is, do you want to go watch him and pay him $30? Or do you want to watch a million other people that are on the internet as well?
I'm happy to say that it seems like they are watching that local band's live feed. So Randy, I told you, like, whenever we were talking about like you doing our intro outro, I'm a huge fan of like local musicians, right? Like I saw you, God, it's literally been like 10 years ago is whenever I first saw you.
If you saw us at that Shaw Shack, I mean, I find for you contacting us after you saw us play at a place like the Shaw Shack must prove that we did something decent to even get a fan out of that place. Because if I remember correctly, like, okay, so we're St. Louis. I mean, we mostly played St. Louis. So yeah, most of these venues got killer stages, lights, sound, everything's very well taken care of. In fact, a lot of times we'll have like our big merch booth thing set up. Now, this was early when you saw us anyway. Yeah. So it was, you know, early in the whole start of things. But we had already, you know, got to play some pretty big festivals, and here we were asked for, I want to say it was like either $400 or $600 to perform for 4 hours at this Shaw Shack place. I'd never heard of it. Every single person there, when we pulled up to start unloading gear, there was no cars. It was all four-wheelers and like gators and those like golf cart things. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Like, and in this whole town, you were just allowed to drive these. Like, just get drunk, party, and drive these things home. And not only was the bar here, but right directly across the street was another bar.
Yes.
And it was all like open door, like, come over and party at any of them. It's fine. Don't take your drink over there. Bring your drink over. I got chips. I got hot dogs. You know, it was like, why don't you just combine to be the same bar? You know, what the hell? You know? Yeah, such a strange show. So for you to like that, knowing that at that time we probably brought out whatever crappy yard sale PA system we had just so we could get that $400 or whatever it was, you know, it was pretty funny.
Okay, here's the thing. I gotta piss a lot. So why don't we rate Wild Turkey? Hey, Ryan, what do you rate Wild Turkey 101?
I mean, it's solid. I mean, you know, it's not my favorite ever, but I mean, for the price, it's great. There's no burn. Tastes good. I'd give it a good 6.5.
No shit.
Yeah, I like it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a solid score on a $23 bottle.
It's good.
What's the highest score? What is it on a 1 to what?
0.0 to 10.0.
I'm gonna give it a score of 5.
5.0. Even with Jim Beam White Label. Gotcha.
Mustang 5.0.
There you go. Steven, what about you?
I am giving this lucky number 6.9, baby. I think that this is...
Damn.
Yeah, I think it's a really solid bottle. I really do. And I think it's really, really good. I'd have it pretty much every single way I'd want. I'd use it in anything I'd want. Yeah, highly recommend it. 6.9.
Okay. 6.9, 6.5, 5.0. And I'm going to show you guys something. This started off as a brand new bottle. And that I've drank, what, a third of that? More like a quarter, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 6-4. 6-4 for Wild Turkey 101, in my opinion. I have reiterated numerous times that bourbon tastes different based on your company. So I don't know how this rating compares to like previous ratings. For a daily drinker, if you can still find Early Times bottled in bond, if you're able to find that for like a decent price, I prefer that to this. But this is my favorite other than Early Times bottled in bond in that price category.
Let's get this bourbon flowing. Pour me in solid glass. Oh, I have my need. Just come back and listen real close. Oh, just sit back and learn to another bourbon show. Another bourbon show. Another bourbon show. Another bourbon show. Let's get this bourbon flowing. I'll take it on the road. So I'll be there. Oh, another glass. And another bourbon show.